Have you ever felt like some team members get your business's purpose while others don't? Or maybe you've struggled with employee decisions that didn't quite align with your vision. Today, you'll learn how to create a values driven workplace where everyone feels connected to the same purpose. Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility, the podcast empowering you, adventurous small business owners, to attract your ideal customers and boost your revenue. I'm your host, Jason McKenzie. Each week, we'll explore easy-to-implement tools and strategies to take your business to new heights and build the lifestyle you want. If you're ready for more profits and less stress, let's get started. So far, we've talked about identifying your core values and using them to connect with your customers. Today, we're turning our focus inward and looking at how core values shape the way your business operates behind the scenes and how they impact your team's culture. This episode is all about embedding your values into every aspect of your internal operations, hiring, training, daily interactions, and decision-making. When your team understands and aligns with your values, they know not only what to do, but also why it matters. This builds a strong, unified culture where everyone is working towards the same mission. Let's start by exploring why a values-driven culture is essential. Have you ever noticed how much easier it is to collaborate when everyone is on the same page? When your team shares and truly understands the same values, decision-making becomes clearer, problems are solved more effectively, and teamwork flourishes. Core values aren't just about how you engage with customers, they're the bedrock of your internal culture. When you and your team live by shared values, there's a sense of purpose. Everyone understands what the business stands for and how their individual efforts contribute to the bigger picture. This alignment creates a workplace where people feel engaged, motivated, and committed. Picture a small home renovation company that holds attention to detail as a core value. When everyone on the team genuinely embraces this value, even the tiniest aspects, like the precision of paint lines or the choice of premium materials, becomes priorities. The result? Consistently high-quality work that clients trust and team members feel proud of. So take a moment and think about this. What would your workplace feel like if every team member was deeply aligned with your core values? How might that change your operations or even the experience your customers have? Now let's talk about hiring, one of the best opportunities to cultivate a values-driven team. Skills and experiences are important, but finding people who align with your value is key to building a cohesive team. Here's how you can integrate values into your hiring process. 1. Values-centered job descriptions. Make sure your job postings reflect your core values. Go beyond listing tasks and responsibilities by describing the qualities that align with your business's purpose. Step 2 is tailored interview questions. Use interviews to assess alignment. If integrity is a core value, you can ask, can you share an example of a time when you faced a challenging ethical decision? Step 3, observe behavioral cues. Pay attention to how candidates present themselves. If respect is a value, notice how they speak about former colleagues or handle interactions during the process. Imagine hiring for a small veterinary clinic where compassion for animals is a cornerstone value. You might ask candidates how they've handled situations with anxious pets or how they comforted pet owners during tough times. This approach helps you find people who naturally align with your clinic's culture of care and empathy. Think about your hiring process. Are there ways to make it more focused on values? What steps could you take to ensure you're attracting and selecting people who truly align with what your business stands for? Once you've built a team aligned with your values, the next step is reinforcement. Training isn't just about tasks. It's about communicating the why behind what you do. When your team understands why values matter, they're more likely to embody them in their day-to-day work. Here's a few strategies. You can incorporate values into onboarding. Use your orientation process to explore your values deeply. Share real-life examples of how they guide decisions and interactions. Regular reinforcement. Talk about values in team meetings, performance reviews, and even casual conversations. Step 3, you can encourage peer recognition. You can create opportunities for team members to highlight how their peers reflect shared values. It fosters both morale and accountability. Consider an independent bookstore with a core value of lifelong learning. During onboarding, you might explain how this value informs the books you stock or the events you host. Weekly team meetings could include book recommendations or customer stories that reflect this value. The result is a workplace where lifelong learning feels authentic and actionable. What could you do in your training processes to reinforce your core values? How might you weave them into daily routines, making them more tangible for your team? Now, core values aren't just philosophical. They're actually practical tools for guiding decisions. When values are clear, your team has a reliable framework to make choices that align with the business's mission and culture. Here's some ways you can apply them. You can develop simple guidelines. You can create policies that link values to key decisions. For example, if quality is a core value, establish standards that no product leaves the shop without meeting rigorous benchmarks. You can also empower employees. You can encourage autonomy by giving your team the freedom to make value-driven decisions while also ensuring accountability. You can provide examples where you're sharing real-world scenarios that show how values influence decisions. If transparency is a value, you might describe a time where open communication with a customer resolved an issue and built trust. Imagine a custom furniture workshop that prioritizes craftsmanship. When a team member faces a choice between a faster method or a precise one, this value leads them to prioritize quality. That extra effort becomes part of the business's reputation and customers notice. Consider, if you would, how you and your team currently make decisions. Are your core values part of that process? Could they be used more intentionally to empower your team and ensure consistency? It's important to remember, building a values-driven workplace isn't about rules, it's about creating a meaningful culture. When everyone's connected to the same purpose, you foster a positive, cohesive environment where contributors feel significant. Here's a few ways to do this. You can lead by example. Make sure you model the values every day. Let your team see you practicing respect, integrity, or whatever your principles you hold dear. You can recognize and celebrate when team members exemplify these values. This could be during meetings or through shared stories that inspire others. Be sure you also encourage open communication. Make feedback and ideas welcome. When everyone feels heard, values remain a living part of the workplace. What are some simple actions you could take to reinforce a values-driven culture in your workplace? How might celebrating the small wins or encouraging collaboration make your values feel more alive? As we wrap up today, remember that values-driven workplace goes beyond words on a wall. It's about hiring people who share your vision, training them to understand why your values matter, and building a culture where everyone feels connected to the same mission. When your team operates with shared values, you create a stronger, more resilient business. In our next episode, we'll be focusing on the power of values-based decision making. We'll look at how core values can guide even the toughest choices, helping you stay true to your mission and build trust with customers. Thank you for tuning into Small Business Big Visibility. If today's episode inspired you to bring your values into the heart of your operations, don't hesitate to take the first steps. Also, share this episode with another business owner who might find it helpful. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on building a value-driven business. Until next time, keep leading with purpose and let your values be your guide.